Hey there guys, Demo73 here, bringing you an amazingly huge spoiler video. We just got the last of the Vingolf spoilers for Vingolf 3, including all of the reprints, the artwork, the effects, what they do, everything else spoiled. It wasn't an article or anything, it was just dropped on the database, and there's a lot of stuff. So we are going to go through, what we're going to do is we're going to cover every attribute, the new cards, and then we are going to cover the reprints for each color as we go through. So, starting with light, we have Arthur, Paladin King of the Round Table, 4-drop 9/9. When this card enters your field, choose a race. J/Resonators you control of the chosen race gain +2/+2. This is crazy. You can splash him into pretty much any tribal deck as long as you're running light at some point, and you just make all your tribal stuff better. Plus, by the way, he is a Knight of the Round Table, so you can just choose Knights of the Round Table, and he becomes a 4-drop 11/11 that boosts all of your Knights of the Round Table up. That is crazy. You can grab him with Percival, he boosts up Lancelot, he boosts up Gawain. Imagine having a Gawain already on field, and then you drop this guy, and suddenly all of your stuff is +4/+4. That is insane. This guy would be a 4-drop 13/13 that's just like, hey, what's up, you gotta deal with me right now. This is super cool for Knights. Really awesome, cool, high-end support card that I am very, very hyped about to be able to play some Blazer Knights again. Next up, we have the Light Wizard. So the wizards that we saw in like the very first set ever of Force of Will are back. So this guy, they all kind of have similar effects. So he's a 1-drop light 2/2, and he says tap, produce white. You can spell this, play this, produce this will only to play chance. So it only works on spells. Which is fine for me. He's a wizard, right? He needs to be producing for spells. But whenever you play a light chant, you gain 200 life. Just an immediate trigger for 200 life. I think that is really cool for that kind of just randomness to that extra little bump for playing spells. I think is cool, especially if you can keep him on board. And if you're playing a control-heavy deck with white spells and your opponent just doesn't answer this, you're going to just continue gaining life as you keep getting those advantage cards through those plays. So, super sick. Then we have Joan d'Arc, the Maid of Orleans. So that's random. So she's a 3-drop, 1 water, 1 white, 1 colorless, 6/6 myth. Keep that in mind. When she enters your field, you gain 600 life, and when she's put into a graveyard from your field, you draw a card. So she enters, she's a body, she gains you 600 life, and she draws you a card when she dies. What? That's really cool. I really like that. It's kind of a really cool tempo play. Whitewater getting some kind of tempo plays like that is really cool. I definitely like it a lot. And then it doesn't have to be killed. It's just put into a graveyard from your field. So if you have something like sack it from an effect or anything else, free draw cards. So that's pretty cool in my book. Next up, we have Pandora, the Goddess of Darkness and Light. She is a 2-drop, 1 black, 1 white, 5/7. When this card attacks, you force 1. Your opponent loses X life, or X is the result of the roll. And when she blocks, you force 1 and you gain life. So when she swings, if you play offensively, you're going to steal extra life just for swinging. And if you block and play defensively, you're going to gain life just for blocking. Imagine this with the Pandora Queen, where you're rolling 2 dice, 3 dice, things like that. She could potentially be massive. Drop this on turn 2, drop a Pandora on turn 3, swing in, roll 2 dice, roll double 6s, your opponent loses 12 life, and then they immediately have to just move forward from there. So lots of cool stuff for Milliam, I think. I'm really glad that she's not a fairy tale, so that you do have to play some black in there, but there's lots of potential there, I think. Next up, we have the reprints. All of these are original artworks. All the reprints are original artworks from Alice or Lapis Cluster, just extended into the full art. So we've got Glorious Castletown, which is pretty sweet. Manifestation of Power, which looks beautiful, full art, in my opinion. Protective Barrier, wasn't a card that saw a lot of things, but it's still pretty nice. And then the Final Word, which is another cool defensive card. And then Zero's Magic Light, which again looks gorgeous in full art. We know all these effects. All in all, these are excellent reprints. I think that Vingolf is shaping up to be an excellent box for continuing players of the game and people who are just trying to get in. And these are some pretty staple, usable cards that players might not have had access to, and getting these is immediately something like, hey, you can kind of play at a more competitive level. So, super hyped about it. Next up, we have Of the fire cards, Barbatos, the world's greatest eccentric, 4-drop 1,100, so super weak, but swiftness. When this card enters your field, rest all other J/Resonators. So if your opponent's tapped out and doesn't have any burn effects, you can just jam this guy and swing at their face for a grand. Honestly, I would play him as like a one-of, maybe, as like a finisher in a red deck, based on the matchup. If I can guarantee the fact that my opponent doesn't have any removal or anything like that, especially since it is a trigger, so they can just kill him in response, and it does rest your own stuff too. For such a high cost, such a low defense, I'm kind of disappointed in that, especially since it is a trigger, not as this card enters your field or something like that. Next up, we have the Fire Wizard. Again, 1-drop 2/2, taps to produce red, spend this will only to play chance, and if you do a Fire Chant, this card may deal 100 damage to target J/Resonator. So you could play a spell, ping something with this, and then hit it with Demon Flame, which is convenient because, as we'll see in a second, Demon Flame is one of the reprints. Next up, we have Karmic Governor Laplace. He is a 5-drop, 1 green, 1 red, 3 colorless, 12/12 with flying and first strike. And whenever this card attacks, everything you control gain flying and first strike until the end of the turn. So he's very expensive, but he's also very big and hard to kill. And if you swing with him first, everything else you have is also very, very good. So this is a guy that's definitely a bomb that you need to be able to remove, deal with right away. Otherwise, you can just get run over. And the artwork is cool. He's a clown. Speaking of clowns, we have Blazer Gilrabas, the Pursuer. He's a 4-drop, 1 black, 1 red, 2 colorless, 9/9. It's pretty decent stats. And he just says, when this card enters your field, destroy target J-Ruler. So sweet, we have another tempo swing J-Ruler hate card that's in black and red. So pretty neat, especially since this is hard destruction. This is something that you play it forces a kill on something like a Val 2.0 if they don't have a cancel spell, and then you can Black Moonbeam them. So this is really nice for black colors, so they don't have to play Addition Hate or something like that, and they can stick to more just hard destruction, and your opponent has to answer this immediately with a cancel spell or Wind Secluded, or they're just going to die. Then we have Allosaurus, the Scholar of Phenomena. So he's a quick cast, so that's pretty cool. So it's a 3-drop, 7/6, quick cast. When he enters your field, you can remove a chant in your graveyard from the game. And then when he's put into the graveyard from your field, you can play a chant from your removed area. So the question here is if you can pay his cost or not. If you can just play it for free, this is potentially really, really crazy. So you flash him in, you RFG a card that you want to cast immediately, you block with him, it dies, and then you cast that spell that you wanted to cast immediately for free. Wow, that seems really good. That seems very, very good in my book. So, just saying. Next up for our reprints, we've got Blood Boil, which looks really, really cool, and it's got the new chant quick cast kind of stuff to fix it up. Then we have, there's lots of cards here, Burn to Cinders, some more J-Ruler hate, which is really nice. Surto, the Blazing Volcano, which looks really good. And then Demon Flame, like I said, some pretty hard removal. I'm super excited about that. And then Introspective Jutsu, so kind of, again, beautiful looking card, but clearly, a reprint. Nothing terribly impactful. Next up for water, we have Shion, the Entrancing Hauntress. She's a 3-drop quick cast. Again, these quick cast resonators are fantastic. 7/7. When this card enters your field, J resonators you control gain extra defense until the end of the turn, including herself, where X is the number of water magic stones you control. That's pretty cool. And this card gains barrier from resonators as long as your J-Ruler is Songstress of Shangri-La or Coup d'etat Mastermind Shion. So if your ruler Shion, you can't hit her with anything from a resonator ability, which I think is pretty cool. We don't really have anything like that. Next up, we have Triton, Emperor of the Seas. Personally, probably one of my favorite cards spoiled right now. So he's a 2-drop, 2 water, 4/4. When he enters your field, gain control of target resonator until the end of the turn. So you can just steal something and then sacrifice it, or use its effect, or something like that. Which is pretty neato. Or clear the way for a swing. Very clearly a tempo card. Super hyped about this. I think it's cool that we're getting these kind of faster steal effects, especially for only 2 blue. Next up, we have Water Wizard, who works just like the other wizards, but it says whenever you play a water chant, you get to scry. Look at the top card of your deck, then put it on the top or bottom of your deck. Cast a water spell, scry. That seems really nuts. I'm super excited about that. That's really cool. Plus the artwork is gorgeous. Now we have Vath-Runth'nir, the Giant Wise Man, who's a 4-drop, 1 green, 1 blue, 2 colorless, 6/6 quick cast. When he enters your field, cancel target Resonator spell. So we finally have dedicated Resonator cancels outside of Seal of Wind and Light. So you can flash this guy in, cancel a summon, and then you have a dude. He's pretty expensive for a 4 cost, but the fact that he's a cancel and a body, I think makes up for it. His stats leave a little bit to be desired, but if you're playing kind of some ramp, which blue and green is kind of that control rampy color anyway, I think that's fine. So pretty cool. Moving on to our reprints, I think we have Charlotte's Water Transformation Magic, which looks amazing as a full art. That's crazy. Charm of the Princess, which we've already seen full art, but does look still really nice. Dance of Inspiration, which looks pretty beautiful. Separation of Body and Soul, which we'll maybe see some more play. And Shackles of Ice, which looks amazing full art. And then we move into our win cards. So Count D'Artagnan, 2 drops, 4/6, Catman Musketeer, 1 green. This card gains 100 damage, deals 100 damage to target Resonator, and you steal flying. That's super relevant. Stealing flying is super relevant. Very excited about that. It's a good little addition for green, I think. Doesn't deal a ton of damage, but hey, it's still stealing that flying, which I think is super important. Now we have Helsing, the Hunter of the Undead, 3-drop, 8/7 elf. Keep in mind she's an elf. When she enters your field, remove target Darkness Resonator from the game. Just RFG that. And then she prevents all damage that would be dealt to her by darkness creatures. So that's pretty cool. If you're playing a Darkness Tribal deck, you can just slam down a Helsing and kill one and then block another one. Glad she's not quick cast, because that would make her even more bonkers, but cool support for green nonetheless. Now we have the World Tree's Guardian, who is the green wizard essentially. 1-drop, 3/3, and he doesn't have the ability to produce, but he pays a green and gets +2/+2 until the end of the turn. So he's a will sink essentially, which I think is pretty cool, especially as a 1-drop. And green, which is known for ramping. Then we have for our reprints, Heavenly Gust, which looks amazing as a full art. Priscia's Call to Action, which looks great. Rapid Growth, which is cool. We get to see the sigil down here a little bit better. And then we have Beast Queen's Counterattack, which is nice. And then Wind Secluded Refuge, which in my opinion is probably one of the best looking full arts so far. And then we move into our black stuff, which we have Baleful Avatar, 2-drop, 3/4. When he enters your field, your opponent discards a card. So play a dude, get rid of a card. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Pretty cool, in my opinion. Darkness Wizard works the same as the other ones. When you play a Darkness Chant, you may put the top card of your deck into your graveyard, so he gets to mill you stuff when you play Darkness cards. Gil Lapis, the Pure Youth, very interesting card. 6-drop, 10/10. When he enters your field, your opponent chooses a card they control. Destroy all non-Magic Stone cards except this card and the chosen card, and he gets X +1/+1 counters, where X is the number of cards destroyed. So you nuke the board, except for one card, which you go mano a mano, and then he gets bumped up based on the number of cards that were popped. Very interesting card, very expensive to play, but if you pull it off, it could be pretty impactful. Reanimate target, potentially. Dark Purge, so is one of our reprints. Looks really creepy, but good. This card, I think, is pretty relevant in this meta. Endless Night, also pretty relevant, I think. Looks really good as a full art. Unseen Pressure, again, great darkness removal. Scorn of Dark Alice, again, great. And lastly, the Gate of the Silver Key, which is a little bit weird, but I think I'll kind of speak to this to kind of wrap things up. Vingolf 3, I think, was designed to be a set for first-timers and for return players. The Resonators are what attract and the full arts are what attract the old players. Having the new special magic stones is pretty nice, but primarily we're after the new Resonators, all these new cards that we get to play around with. But for those of you who might not have been able to get those cards or anything else like that, or maybe just getting started, this set is an excellent investment now. 5 rulers that are pretty darn good, tons of Resonators that have lots of cool effects and give you a really good introduction to the interactions of the game in multiple different levels, plus really proven strong card reprints that have been on the competitive scene for quite a while well and used in a lot of different ways, and interact really well with these resonators that we're getting. So if you're a new player, go and buy some Vingolfs. Not only that, but you get some pretty decent special stones to give you a taste of what having special stones is like, without having you immediately get all of them like the other Vingolfs were. This set was designed beautifully by the company. Strong resonators for old players, great new reprints for new players, special stones to give you a good taste of it, full art to attract all of us who love collecting, and not special stones that we already, not special stones that are the same as the ones in packs. So if you want true dual stones, you have to go and buy packs. So it persuades you to try to go invest in more product. This is a massive product for this game. I'm very hyped, and if they keep doing Vingolfs like this, I can't imagine that these don't sell out as soon as they come in. So please go to your store, pre-order these, buy them. They are fantastic purchases, and I definitely recommend picking them up. And especially get new players into the game using these products. They're going to be awesome, and they're going to come with 10 card special foil packs. In each one, the foil packs will have 10 random foils of anything other than a ruler, and the rulers will already come in the foil. So let me know what you guys think about these reprints, about these new cards. How pumped are you about it? Should I build a deck that revolves around nothing but Guild Lapis to Pure Youth? I think I'm probably going to do it. Let me know what you guys want to see from these rulers. I'm going to be trying to build Vingolf decks to put on the channel, so let me know what you think in the comment sections down below. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, this is DMO73 signing off.